Thinking and Language. Chapter 9. Is This a Pigeon? By Keishi Diane. Today's class: Heuristics, Problem-Solving Strategies and Obstacles, The Big Bang Theory Enrichment Activity, Animal Cognition and Language, Human Language, Lesson Objectives, to examine the effectiveness of using heuristics to solve problems, to distinguish between the availability and representativeness heuristics. www.joinmaquiz.com. Code: Meet Sarah. Over 80% of women have children. 0.29% of people are medical doctors. Sarah is most likely a mom, doctor, mom plus doctor. Heuristics: mental shortcuts most likely used when there is information overload, there is not enough information, time is limited, the decision is not important, are not rational logical. Different types: availability, representativeness, and others. Are there more words that begin with K or more that have K as the third letter? Availability heuristic: what comes to mind easiest is considered true. Information is more likely to be available if recent, frequent, vivid, extreme, negative. Availability heuristic. 2. We fear and expect what is most unlikely. These events stand out in our minds. Often things featured in the news. More likely, less likely, percent of participants picking less likely. Homicide 20 times appendicitis. 9 drowning 5 times auto train collision. Asthma 920 times appendicitis. Tornado 58. Pregnancy of an event based on how similar it is to a known situation. Representativeness. Heuristic intent: we compare it to a situation, prototype, or stereotype we already have in mind. The prototype approach to categorization. Prototype: an average representation of the typical member of a category. Characteristic features that describe what many members are like. Prototypical items are processed more rapidly. Likely contributes to stereotypes. Why categories are useful: helps to understand new things, pointers to knowledge. Provide a wealth of general information about an item, help identify the special characteristics of unique items, can help make quick decisions in urgent situations. The Linda problem. Linda is 31 years old, single, outspoken, and very bright. She majored in philosophy. As a student, she was deeply concerned with issues of discrimination and social justice and participated in anti-nuclear demonstrations. Which is more probable? 1. Linda is a bank teller. 2. Linda is a bank teller and is active in the feminist movement. Conjunction fallacy, assuming the probability of 2. Combined events is greater than 1 alone. Because feminist bank tellers are a subset of bank tellers, it is always more likely that someone is a bank teller than a feminist bank teller. Happens because of the representativeness heuristic. Hi Sarah. Over 80% of women have children. 0.0001% of people work in the tattoo industry. Sarah is most likely a mom. Mom who manages a tattoo shop. The Sarah problem. Over 80% of women have children. 0.29% of people are medical doctors. 0.0001% of people work in the tattoo industry. Sarah is least likely a. Find out who she is next. What are the differences? Availability heuristic, representative heuristic, based on knowledge that easily comes to mind. Based on stereotypical knowledge of a prototype, memories of specific instances, and memories of averaged instances. Lesson. Outcomes. We examine the effectiveness of using heuristics to solve problems. We can distinguish between the availability and representativeness heuristics. What is a problem? An obstacle between a present state and a goal. Not immediately obvious how to get around the obstacle. Difficult to solve. Trial and error. Algorithm. Insight in problem solving. Metcalf and Veby, 1987. Insight triangle problem, chain problem, solved suddenly. Requires restructuring. Non-insight algebra, solved gradually. Warmth judgments every 15 seconds. Obstacles to problem solving. Functional fixedness, restricting use of an object to its familiar functions. Candle problem, seeing boxes as containers inhibited using them as supports. Two-string problem, function of pliers gets in the way of seeing them as a weight. Obstacles to problem solving, mental set, a preconceived notion about how to approach a problem. Based on a person's past experiences with the problem or similar problems, water jug problem, given mental set, inhibited participants from using simpler solution. All of the other problems can be solved using desired quantity equal to BA to C, but there are more efficient ways to solve problems. 7 and 8. Capacities, quarts, problem jug A jug B. Jug C desired quantity, 123,456,700. 21 127 3 114 163 25 18 9 20 2015 828 Sessa 50 39 59 8 64,333 8,850 99 21 31 24 18 25 A B 127 21 B 106 B equal to BBA equal to B equal to B 3 103 D 103 100 BAC BA2C. Obstacles to problem solving. Confirmation bias, the tendency to seek evidence that supports our ideas rather than evidence against them. What is the rule for 2 to 4 minus 6? Overconfidence, the tendency to overestimate the accuracy of our knowledge, can lead to a planning fallacy, underestimating how long something will take. Belief perseverance, the tendency to continue believing something even when faced with opposing evidence. People judge studies that support their beliefs as being better researched than those which contradict their beliefs. Framing, decisions depend on how choices are presented. Opt-in procedure, active step to be organ donor. Opt-out procedure, organ donor unless request not to be. People are more likely to save for retirement with the opt-out procedure. People more likely to make a moral decision if asked what is the right thing to do before making the decision. People drink less alcohol if drinks are smaller. When situations are framed in terms of gains, people tend toward a risk aversion strategy. When situations are framed in terms of losses, people tend toward a risk-taking strategy. The power of intuition, born of experience, implicit knowledge, recalled automatically in those who are skilled, usually adaptive. Learned associations surface as gut feelings, is more influential than we assume. Complex decisions can benefit from non-conscious processing. Superior decision-makers know when to override it, taking advantage of the two-track mind. A bat and a ball cost $1.10. The bat cost 100 cents more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? Emily's father has 3 daughters. The first 2 are named April and May. What is the third's name? Creative problem solving. Creativity's 5 components, in 10 ways to boost it. Expertise, become an expert in something. Follow your passion, whatever it is. Imaginative thinking skills. Divergent thinking, open-ended, large. Number of potential solutions, venturesome, determined, personality. Tolerates risk and perseveres. Time for incubation. Sleeping on it allows time for automatic associations to build, allow for mind wandering. Intrinsic motivation, driven by interest rather than external. Rewards, induce defocused attention. Experience other cultures' ways of thinking. Creative environment, supportive mentors that encourage communication. Viewing things from a different perspective. Creativity and the brain. Chi and Snyder, 2012. Deactivated left anterior temporal lobe causing people to think outside the box and 9. Problem. Kunios and coworkers, 2006. The prepared mind, frontal lobe activity increased before insight solutions. Occipital lobe activity increased before non-insight solutions. Right temporal lobe activates upon insight. Break time. Author name, book title, edition, insert year, Cengage. All rights reserved. may not be scanned, copied, or duplicated, or posted to a publicly accessible website in whole or in part. Animal cognition, using concepts. Bears, birds, and apes can sort pictures into groups of concepts. Apes will show different brain activation patterns when viewing different concepts. Displaying insight. Apes show aha moments when problem-solving. Apes store tools for future use. Transmitting culture. Different tool use patterns are seen across communities of apes and passed on to offspring. Self-awareness. Great apes, dolphins, magpies, and elephants recognize themselves in a mirror. What about language? Chimpanzees display altruism, aggression, and cooperation. What is language? System of communication using sounds or symbols. Express feelings, thoughts, ideas, and experiences. Phonemes, smallest sounds in a language. English has about 40 bat, and that are 3 each. Japanese has about 20. Morphemes, smallest units that contain meaning. Phonemes can be morphemes. A in English, ka in Japanese. Grammar, rules that allow us to derive meaning, semantics, and order words. Syntax. Korehai desu ka, kore wa nan desu ka. The universality of language. Deaf children invent sign language that is all their own. All humans with normal capacities develop a language and learn to follow its complex rules. Language is universal across cultures. Language development is similar across cultures. Children start learning nouns first. Languages are unique but the same. Different words, sounds, and rules. All have nouns, verbs, negatives, questions, past, present tense. Studying language in cognitive psychology. B.F. Skinner, 1957. Verbal behavior, language learned through reinforcement. Noam Chomsky, 1957. Syntactic structures, human language coded in the genes. Underlying basis of all language is similar. Children produce sentences they have never heard and that have never been reinforced. Language development, receptive language, ability to understand what is said. 4-month-olds can recognize speech sounds and read lips. At 6 months, they can recognize object names. At 7 months, they can segment sounds into words, better than adults learning a new language. Productive language, ability to speak words. Babbling begins at 4 months. It is spontaneous uttering of consonant-vowel pairs. Cannot identify native language when babies babble. At 10 months, babbling resembles household language. This is the critical period for discriminating sounds in other languages. At 1 year, they utter one-word phrases. Usually nouns. At 2 years, they use 2-word phrases: understand, verb-noun order, and adjective-noun order. Critical periods. Exposure to a spoken or signed language must occur before 7 years old. Must be exposed to second language before 10 months to discriminate sounds. It is harder to learn a language as an adult. Sign language needs to be taught before 9. Cochlear implants most effective before 2. Not everyone agrees it is ethical to give a child 1. Should we expect deaf people to adapt to our world, or should we adapt to theirs? Rep Hondment Amon Lonar Serve W Overment Gov Parate Sib PR Ashton Rance percentage. Correct. On grammar test 100%. Myers DeWall, Psychology, 13E, 2021 Worth Publishers. Arizona Daily Star, A.E. Araiza, AP Photo, 9090, 80, 7010, 60, 60, 4050. The older the age at immigration, the poorer the mastery of a second language. Native 3 to 7, 8 to 10, 11 to 15, 17 to 39. Age at arrival, in years. The brain and language. Broca's area controls our ability to produce language. Wernicke's area controls our ability to comprehend language. Damage to either area will result in aphasia, an impairment in language. Thinking and language. Which comes first, thoughts or language? Linguistic determinism assumes language is required for thought. Linguistic relativism assumes language influences thoughts. People express different personality profiles depending on which language the test is given. People who speak languages with more words for different colors have an easier time distinguishing colors. Some languages don't have pronouns. people who speak a language with pronouns feel more respected when their preferred pronouns are used. Bilingual people are better at inhibiting responses and have better social skills than monolingual individuals. Coming up. Chapter 9. Practice quiz attempts. Use your metacognition to figure out which concepts you find most challenging and focus on those when studying for the midterm. Read Review Chapter 10.